Pop your little ock hanger right up your sketchbook hole. Let's draw Luxeria. First things first, GIRLYWIGS, I want to wish a happy Pride Month to everyone in the LGBTQIA+ community. My name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia, and I'm so happy that you're here. Now, it being Pride Month wasn't the reason that I am making this video, though it's a happy accident that I'll be uploading it in June, so it's very fitting for me to tell you all about my favourite stunning woman on the game, Luxeria. Now, ages ago, I made a little sketch of Luxeria in my now abandoned monthly faves sketchbook, made a short of it, and still to this day I get comments on that video, and it's so heartwarming each time I do, as the fandom is incredibly supportive and drops some choice Luxeria quotes, and it always makes me laugh. And now that Luxeria has a new member of the family, the icon, Mr. Biscuit, I've been wanting to do an updated portrait including him. So here we are. I sketched in a purple Prismacolor Colorase pencil, and I used some Instagram pictures from Luxeria's account to use as reference. And I decided to do watercolor because I've just been really loving the dreamy vibes of watercolor lately. So I wanted to do this piece in watercolor too. I can't remember exactly when I came across her channel, but as someone who is kind of obsessed with trashy reality TV and the absolute unhinged shows of the early 2000s, finding Luxeria was like finding a new friend. Luxeria has a background in photography, makeup artistry, science, and has also had plastic surgery, so her insights and personal anecdotes that she adds to the commentary of such shows as The Swan, Extreme Makeover, America's Next Top Model, Glow Up, and many more is invaluable. She is not only extremely knowledgeable on the topics, but she's absolutely hilarious, and I love rewatching these old shows through her lens. I watched all of these shows back in the day, and the first series of Luxerias that I came across on YouTube was The Swan. I had forgotten that this absolute abomination existed and sat down to watch every episode again with Luxeria. So if you've not heard of The Swan, it was a TV show that lasted only 2 seasons, thank goodness honestly. The first episode aired in April 2004, and the show revolved around 2 women per episode, self-proclaimed ugly ducklings getting extreme plastic surgery, multiple surgeries each, in addition to personal training, dental work. And at the end of each episode, one woman would be declared the most attractive, would be the winner of the episode, and then go on to compete in a beauty pageant at the end of the series. The winner would then be declared the Swan. Yikes! The women were isolated away from their friends and families for 3 months while they were getting the surgeries. They were not allowed mirrors at all for that time that they were away recovering from their surgeries, only seeing the results of their makeovers for the first time as we, the viewers, did during a big reveal for the cameras at the end of the episode. I cannot imagine how overwhelming the whole experience must have been. The season finale beauty pageant was your standard pageant, with the women being scored on evening gown, swimsuit, lingerie, and Q&A, and in addition to the title of the Swan, won a modelling contract and prizes by the corporate sponsors. If it sounds incredibly problematic, yes, you're right. And watching it again 20 years later, alongside Luxeria, who herself as a trans woman has had an extensive plastic surgery journey, was really amazing. She has playlists on her channel, and I highly recommend watching them because The Swan, rightfully so, has pretty much been scrubbed from existence. But you can watch the episodes with Luxeria's commentary on her channel. Luxeria, as I mentioned, reacts to many of these shows from the early 2000s that remind us of the size zero-ness of beauty standards at the time. And while they're fun and nostalgic to revisit, Luxeria also takes the opportunity to discuss how social norms have changed and how much behaviour was so problematic and harmful to many marginalised groups of people. Intersectionality is an important part of my own personal feminism, and as a cisgender straight white woman, I have privileges that trans women and women of colour don't have. Even though I am disabled, I can use my voice to advocate for them and uplift their voices. And honestly, I wouldn't consider not doing that. I am so fortunate to have many trans people in my life, and it's heartbreaking to see governments around the world legislating against their right to exist. Trans people have always existed and always will. I adore my trans friends, and I feel sorry for people who obviously have never had these experiences and lead with hatred and fear when speaking about trans people. Trans women having less rights doesn't mean that I, as a cis woman, get more. It's such a goofy argument. Something else I wanted to mention in this video is a recent video of Luxeria's from a few weeks ago where she mentioned changes to the way YouTube is handling her content, either by demonetizing it, handing out copyright strikes, flagging for things that aren't occurring, and how much of an impact it's having on her channel and ability to make a living. I personally believe the issue is AI related, as Luxeria is very clearly transforming the original content and providing commentary, which are both classed as fair use. Unfortunately, as we see more and more and more things handed off to AI to resolve, we're seeing more and more and more ways it's harming human creators in so many ways. Luxeria, as a trans woman who has recently relocated to a different country where the government is more welcoming to trans people, who does every single part of her video creation herself, whose full-time job this is, it's obviously had a significant detriment to her and her channel. She mentioned that she's going to still upload to YouTube, but is going to be posting more videos to her Patreon, which is an incredible way to financially support creators and artists that you like. The thing with social media is, while it can allow you to build a community and create a living for yourself, it can change or go away at a moment's notice. Terms and services change, it's completely out of your hands. And we know the tech bros who own the apps, where they stand politically, right? If you are able to directly support people via their Patreon or Ko-fis, you really have no idea how much this helps them to keep the rent paid, the lights on, to be able to keep making the content and art that you enjoy. As I've mentioned, I'm disabled, and the financial support that I receive on my Ko-fi really helps me so much, as I'm limited in the kind of work that I can do. If you're able-bodied and have no one acting prejudice towards you, I cannot accurately state just how stressful it is trying to survive with the bare minimum of housing, food, bills paid at this moment in late-stage capitalism, especially if you are using your platform to speak on behalf of anyone whose human rights are being stripped. If you've noticed that you're hearing these complaints from queer, trans, disabled, and creators of colour, that's certainly not a coincidence. So hearing Luxeria saying how she's had to alter the way she uses YouTube is completely understandable, and I look forward to being able to join the Patreon myself someday soon. In the meantime, I will make this video and talk about how much I adore her and her videos, and hopefully if you're not already familiar with her, you'll go and check out her channel and give her some support too. One of my absolute favourite things that she does is add in cutaway clips from various shows that she's referenced in the past or pop culture things, and these become inside jokes to the audience. If you already watch her and I say, I'm going to cream or daytime tweed, you will hear what that sounds like. After I'd finished painting the portrait in watercolor and adding in pencil details, I wanted to add some little words around the piece as well because I had a little bit of room. So I grabbed my acrylic paint markers and wrote, "It's a scandal, girls." And I had to add in Mr. Biscuit saying, "the government." It's one of my favorite recent additions.
That is Biscuit barking.
Ah, the government!
Anyway, I bloody love you, Luxeria. I love the community you have built, your videos, your insights and humor, and I wish you all the success no matter what platform it's on. I absolutely love the way this sketchbook page turned out, and I think it's one of my favorite pages in my current sketchbook. If you've come across this video because you're a fan of Luxeria and you're not familiar with my channel, please leave me a comment with your favorite Luxeria quote or favorite series that she's done. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll leave it on the note of bigots get in the bin. If you're in a position to uplift communities who are more vulnerable than yourself, it is very cool to do so. And most importantly, protect the dolls. Like this video if you liked this video, and consider subscribing to my channel for more art stuff. And thank you so much again. I'll see you next time. Bye.
And then you have to kind of reset and have a moment and think, no, actually, shut up.